Howdy, Mike here, and I've got a great show for you today. I want to share how I turned my knowledge into a 7-figure online course in the first 3 months that it was on the market. And I also want to show you how you can do the exact same thing by identifying your offer, validating the idea, and then positioning your course so that it sells like mad. But first, let's talk about this empty bottle of wine. So this bottle of wine is pretty significant to me for a couple of reasons. First one is, that was the first time that I spent more than $100 on a bottle of wine. I actually bought this to celebrate that milestone of getting my first $1 million in course sales. This was back in 2019. It was 13 months after we launched our product. And the crazy thing is my course was only $247, right? So it's not like I was doing some big high ticket thing to achieve this. But this is significant not just because of that milestone, but because what it represented in my life. Everything changed in that moment. When you realize that you can take what you know and share it with people and help impact their lives and change their lives and have this incredible work-life balance and be able to do the things you want and make an incredible living, it changes everything. And so it wasn't just the ability to buy a $100 bottle of wine. It was the ability to buy nice bottles of wine whenever I wanted, to buy nice things, to do cool stuff that I'd never imagined, like build my dream house and own a piece of property, or make a really nice wine cellar in the house to store more bottles like this. Those are all things that I've been able to do. So obviously this dusty old bottle means a lot to me for many reasons, but I was only able to buy it and celebrate in the first place because of the work that I did ahead of time and how we structured the offer. So today I'm going to break that down for you so you can do the same with your own online course. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to identify your offer. You've got to figure out, what am I going to teach an online course about? What is that thing that people are going to want to pay for? And really, you should be starting with what you know. Ideally, you can find something where there's this, merging of both your interest and your expertise, because you need to be able to talk on this thing for a really long time, right? So if it's just one or the other, if you have an interest but you're not an expert, it's kind of hard to get people to follow you, to learn from you. But if you're an expert and you just don't have a ton of passion about the subject, then you're going to get bored talking about it every single day in your content, in your program, and all that. So you want to find something that is going to be a good mix of that. But you've got to start with what you know. And the reason for that is because most of the time, your ideal buyer is you way back when. It's you when you were struggling with some problem, probably in that moment of your worst struggle, that you eventually overcame and figured out to get some result, right? So if you have this knowledge about how to do something, you're selling to that person that was you before you figured out how to do it, but you just had that desire, all right? So that's the first part. You start with what you know. And if you're not sure, like, how do I figure this out? You might have a clear idea. This is what I'm interested in. This is my idea. But if you don't know and you're just like, I want to build an online course business, then start with the thing that people ask you questions about. Right? Like that's a big one. If people are coming to you for advice about something, or they're asking you questions about different topics, then there's a good sign that they already view you as an authority in that area. And that's probably a good place for you to create a course around. Now, I want to give you an example related to this course, right? Our first course was called the Facebook Side Hustle course. And we were just teaching people how to run Facebook ads for other businesses and get paid for it. But the way that we came up with the idea was based on questions that people had coming to us. And it really all started back in November 17, around Thanksgiving. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine, Bobby, who I went to high school with, hadn't really kept in touch with, and he had this other online business, this blog that was helping people with personal finances. And he reached out to me because he was saying, I'm helping all of these people with how to pay down debt, how to invest, how to save, how to do all of these things so they can reach their monetary goals. He goes, but it breaks my heart when I'm getting these questions from people where they're like, look, I'm doing everything that you've shared with me, but I have more debt than I earn, and I just can't get out from under it. What do I do? And he was like, I have no idea. I don't know how to help these people, and it breaks my heart. And so I just turned to him and I was like, hey man, why don't you teach them how to run Facebook ads, right? That's what I do. That's what you did when you first started your blog and you need to make money. You know how to do it. And it's this great way to make money. It's easy to learn. It's high paying. It's not a huge time investment. I think it'd be great for your audience. And that conversation a couple weeks later led to us becoming business partners and creating our course and launching it. And we were off to the races. But that all started with questions people were bringing to him, with problems that people were bringing to him, and just trying to find a way to help people solve those problems. And that's what you're looking for. Now, once you have that idea, we need to validate the idea. This is the second step. And let's just be honest, folks. Just because you have an idea that you like and that you're interested in doesn't mean that people are going to buy that course. So you need to find out if it's a good idea, and by good idea, I mean, are there buyers? You got to find out if there's buyers before you take the time to create this whole thing and put it out in the world. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to seek out competition. And this is really important. You are not trying to find some magical untapped market that nobody's been into before, that's this big honey hole that you're going to become a bajillionaire out of. That's not what you want. You want to find a market where people are already buying, because if there's buyers, if there's competition, then that means that you're going to be able to go in there with your unique idea, your unique offer, and you're going to be able to capture some of that market. You're going to be able to put your course in front of that river of buyers and get your piece of the pie. So how do you find out whether there is a market of buyers for your idea? I'm going to give you two strategies that you can use. The first one is I want you to do a search. Go on Google, go on YouTube, look up the topic of your course or the idea that you have. If you find a bunch of articles or you find a bunch of videos on YouTube, in particular videos that have a lot of views, that's a great first sign. So you've got to start with search. Also, go ahead and look up like the most common questions that the person that you want to work with, that ideal buyer, is going to have. So if there's this big overarching problem that they have, there's probably a lot of little, questions that they're going to be thinking about and trying to figure out along that journey. Not only can those things become topic ideas for you down the road, but you want to see, are there articles about that? Are there views with great, good viewership? Those things are all great signs that there's demand around what you're doing and that there's a market there. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to go physically look and see if there are buyers. So I want you to check out Udemy, Skillshare, sites like that where people can publicly post their courses. If you go on to something like Udemy and you put in the topic of your course, if there are buyers, you're going to see a bunch of courses that show up, and you're probably going to see a course that might be like $19 to learn how to create your online course, but there's, 5,000 buyers. That is a great sign. Now, I want you to totally ignore the pricing and all of those things in there. The best way to sell your course and make money with online courses is not posting on those sites. But they make a great research tool because we're able to see if there are courses on your subject, whether that competition actually exists, and we're able to find out because it shows you how many people have bought it. And that's the information that you're looking for. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. How to position your course so it sells like mad. This makes all the difference. This is the difference between a program that flops and never gets traction and one that starts getting sales right away and just builds over time into a complete monster and helps you get to that 6 and 7 figure range. You have to position your course the right way. And what that means is like how you package it, how you market it, how you present it to the world. This is so important. If you get to this spot, if you've already sought out competition and identified a market full of buyers and validated your offer in the ways that I said, you're already way ahead. But if you miss this part, you're in trouble. And here's the thing that you need to know. Your idea is worth way more money than you think it is. You can probably sell it for a heck of a lot more than you think you can. The problem is that most people never see that. Most people don't ever realize the potential they have with their online course because they do a bad job of positioning it. We want to be different. We want to position it so that it stands out from the crowd and attracts the top 1% of your ideal buyers, the people that are going to be your best clients and are going to get all of the results and help you grow. And the way you do that is you focus on results, not information. Here's the deal, guys. Information has zero value. You can go on Google, on YouTube, and you can learn absolutely anything you want. That's one of the great things about the internet. People have more information that they need and a lot of times think like, oh, I can piece all this together. I can figure all this out myself. But that's really difficult to do. if you can make your program focus on the results, on the transformation, and you can help them implement the information so that way they get that result, that has massive value. That's going to lead to more buyers, it's going to lead to more interest, and it's going to allow you to charge a lot more money. Now, to explain to you how you make your offer about results instead of information and how to do a thing, I want to talk to you about this concept called sell the hole, not the drill. And this is a really common concept in marketing because it's the biggest mistake that people make when they're first starting out. Nobody sells the hole, they sell the drill. And you're probably thinking like, what the heck does that mean? Well, if you need a hole, you are going to go get a drill, and that's the tool that you're going to use to drill and create that hole, right? So the drill is the tool and the hole is the result. So when you are creating your course, you want to have the result in mind. What is that big thing that the person that's going to buy from you wants to achieve? Okay. And then you want to make your course and your offer about that result, not about whatever tool or system or thing that you use to get them there. To give you an example of this sell the hole, not the drill concept in action, I want to go back to when we were first launching our course. At that time, there were a lot of Facebook ads courses out on the market. There were tons of them. And so we needed a way to stand out. And so instead of doing what everybody else did, and it was like, here's how to start a Facebook ads business, or here's how to run Facebook ads, we positioned our program as the number one way to make an extra 2 to 3K per month in only a few hours per week of work. We're selling the result, the desire, right? We talked about like the side hustle itself, not what it entailed, but like what it achieved for you. So think about this. When we would position it, we'd be like, this is the number one side hustle. The reason it's the number one side hustle is because it's high paying. You get, $1,000 to $2,000 per month per client. It's super easy to learn. If you can post on Facebook, you can do this. And it doesn't take a lot of work. Like you're going to go ahead, you're going to make your little post, you're going to press these buttons the way we show you, you're going to launch it, and then you're going to sit and you're going to monitor the things. And the leads are automatically going to go to the client and they're going to sell them, and it just runs. Doesn't take a lot of work. That's super appealing. We were selling the result. All this extra money, a side hustle that pays way more than most side hustles that are out there, and they can see how easy it is to learn and how it wouldn't take a lot of time. That's what sold. Now, once they got in, we taught them all the tools. We taught them how to create Facebook ads. We taught them how to land clients. We taught them how to build a business and all of those things we needed to do. But that's not how we position the offer. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on the result and the transformation, the thing that they truly desire, not the factual things they're going to learn. Now, I think you can see why selling the result makes the course more appealing, but it also increases the value of it significantly and allows you to charge higher prices. And you may be like, how does it do that? But when you are focused on the result instead of the how-to, because remember I said information has no value. When you're focused on the result, you're positioning this to these people like, what is the cost of not having this result? So if we go back to those people that were coming to my business partner before we created the course, they were in this situation where they had more debt than they had income each month. And so they were going further and further in the hole, and they couldn't escape despite being extra frugal and saving and trying to use all of these strategies. So there was a massive pain there. There was no pain to learn how to run Facebook ads for clients, but there was a massive pain to earn more money. The cost of them doing nothing was huge, massive. And the value of them being able to earn an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month for a small investment is huge. Because if they can go, yeah, I'm going to throw down a couple of $100 and then I'm going to be able to make, a few grand extra month after month after month, like they're going to find the money even if they don't have it, because it's going to solve their biggest problem and they can see that return. All right. So, and this applies to anything. It's not just in the make money space. Any idea you have, if you can sell the result, if you can give them the answer to their problem, if you can give them that solution and a blueprint to get there more quickly, the value's through the roof and you're going to be able to charge more. At the end of the day, a profitable course starts right from the beginning. You need a great idea that helps people achieve their desired result in a market where the buyers are present. If you nail this, then you're on the right track. On that note, I'd like to invite you guys to come join our community. We've got a group on Facebook called $1 Million Course Secrets. We're sharing even more content in there all the time, and it's a great place for you to connect with me personally. If you've got a question, if you want to know more about pricing, if you want to know, hey, do you think this is a good idea? Or how do I position this course? You can ask those things there inside of that group, and also network with thousands of other online course creators that are on the same journey as you. So if you're interested in finding out more about $1 Million Course Secrets, our free group on Facebook, just go in the link in the description, click there, request to join. We'll let you right in. See you next week.